Good morning, Greyhounds, and welcome back to Season 6. I am your host, Addison Mosley, and today we have three very special guests joining us. But before I introduce these guests, if anyone knows me, they know I love my crimson and gray. So it's an honor to have Grady and Grady too in the studio. But first up is Corin Sigmund.
Hi.
And she is the marketing and communications manager who also serves as the handler for Grady and Grady too. So, welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you for having all of us.
Of course, this is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, how are you feeling today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Great. So, can you tell me how you got to your position?
Yeah, I graduated from UIndy in 2014.
Okay, alum.
Yes, comm alum, comm family through and through. Love it.
Oh, we love our crimson and gray, y'all.
I know. Yes, so I actually was in the public relations field and I worked for corporate communications for a law firm. That's what I thought I wanted to do. Quickly realized that was not at all what I wanted to do, and a position at the university opened up in alumni engagement. So thankfully I was able to come back home and work for our alumni team, and through that process it took me about 3 years to finally convince the university to reinvigorate our live mascot program after 40 years. So I had joked about it a lot as a student with our former president, and it was always just a joke to most people, but I was very serious about it. And finally it kind of opened up where it wasn't a joke anymore. It was a real possibility, and I was able to prove through some research and just some testimonials from alumni who were here when we had the dogs before. I was able to kind of lay out a proposal of what the impact could be, and they bought into it. And now, 6 years later, this guy is getting ready to retire out, and we brought this one home next. So,
oh my gosh,
I know, it's exciting.
That's so beautiful. They're so beautiful. So before we talk a little bit about Grady too and get into his introduction, can you tell me about your experience with being the handler of Grady? And how have you kept up with that? What is that like?
Yeah, I think the biggest misconception is that it's my full-time job. As much as I would love for it to be my full-time job, it's not. I'm a marketing and communications manager first. So the Grady program is only supposed to be about 40% of my job, actually, which seems a little crazy when a lot of people hear about that. But it's been fun to manage expectations and manage growth. But really, I got to imagine what I wanted this to be. There was no real guidelines. Before, the dogs that were on campus were really they just went to some athletic events. They didn't serve as necessarily university mascots. So I got to build this program how I wanted it to be, which was a dog for everyone. I didn't want anyone to feel like Grady was only visible at a basketball game or a football game. I wanted them to see him in Switzer or in a classroom or representing UIndy out in the community. And so that's what I've been able to do. And now we average just over 130 events a year. So that's been very exciting. We have just the social media engagement has been insane since we launched their program.
Everybody loves Grady.
I know, it's been,
Everybody loves Grady.
So please remember to tag and follow if you don't already. But yeah, it's been really fun to dream essentially and hope for what I want the program to be. And then everyone's been so supportive for me to chase after those dreams.
Well, I will say you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Because I've seen Grady at so many events, and I'm everywhere.
Good.
So if I'm everywhere and he's everywhere, we're always seeing each other.
Good. I hope it just continues to grow with this guy.
Yes. So what was the thought process when starting the conversation of Grady retiring?
Yeah. So I'm part of, and the dogs are part of, a collegiate live mascot association. Mm-hmm. And in that association, the 54 programs and I, we kind of lay some groundwork and some guidelines for what we think is the best care and guidelines for animals.
Yeah.
And live mascots. And he's down.
Honestly, this is how I'm feeling right now.
Right? Yes.
I'm going to go back to bed and be just like Grady.
So the guidelines for domesticated animals like dogs is 8 to 10 years old to start looking at replacements and retiring out. And so Grady turned 8 this past April.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah. And we wanted to start looking before he looked visibly tired and old. I say tired as he, crashes out on the floor right here. But we didn't want him to be visibly struggling at events or standing for long periods of time or anything like that. So we wanted to start looking to give ourselves plenty of time and not force fit a dog because we felt like we needed to retire Grady immediately. And so I reached out to some organizations that we had worked with Grady about adopting again, and was honestly working with a breeder as well because we considered doing a puppy. Hi, buddy.
A puppy.
But we really love Grady's story of, being a retired racing greyhound and coming from that industry. And in my opinion, it kind of matches the story of our students that we don't have a traditional path towards a mascot here. Our mascot isn't the traditional, lineage from a breeder, from a puppy, all these things. Like, he had a life before this. We adopted him out of that, and now he gets to get loved on all day long. And so through that process, a friend reached out and said, would you ever be interested in a dog from Australia? And I said, absolutely, let me know. Like, if he's a good personality or, if he fits, yeah, I have no bones about getting a dog from Australia. And they sent me this guy's profile and his adoption paperwork, and I was smitten from the beginning.
So you're in charge of all of this?
Yes. So, yeah, I am their voice, their caretaker. I don't want to say I have sole decision responsibility because I do, I report up to people, obviously.
Yes.
But people, it is understood and, respected that the mascot program is mine and I own all pieces of it. Yeah.
You better put your name on it too. You better put her name on it. She's not playing with y'all. So where's Grady going? So, yeah, tell me about that. Where is he going?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that the dogs aren't mine. I don't personally own them. They live with me, but...
like 24/7?
Yes, 24/7. They live with me, yes.
Around your house?
Around my house and my 2 kids and my other dog. Yes.
It's
a zoo.
Girl.
It's a small zoo, but a good time. But I don't own either of them. The university owns them, and it protects, the reason that it's set up that way is it protects both the dogs, well, I guess it protects the dogs, the university, and me. Mm-hmm. So if I were to ever leave the university wouldn't get to lose their mascot because I don't own them. Mm-hmm. But then I'm also not responsible for like the food. I don't pay for their food or their health care or vet care or anything like that.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's all. Out. Yes. But when he retires and graduates in May, the university will sign ownership over to me, and I will be sole owner and responsible for all the things for him. So he'll just become a family dog. He'll be my 5 and 2-year-old's dog, and yes, they're very excited. I think they would have disowned me if I didn't get to bring.
I was gonna say nobody knows him better than you do.
Yeah, and my kids would have been pretty upset.
Yeah. Well, for those who don't know, can you please introduce us to Grady 2? With his official title, and tell us a little bit about him. We heard he's from Australia, but what is his story?
Yeah, so this is Crimson Grayson Veritas.
That is a long name.
It is. That is their full academic name. It is kind of obviously crimson and gray based off of our colors in our university, and Veritas means truth-seeking in Latin, and it used to be on our original seal for the university. Oh. So there's a reason and a purpose for every part of their name. Mm-hmm. So this is Crimson Grayson Veritas the first. This is Crimson Grayson Veritas the second. But obviously that doesn't roll off the tongue like Grady does. So yes. Yeah. So affectionately, I call them OG and G2. This guy, yes.
OG wore out.
I know. But he is from New South Wales, Australia. He's 2 years old. He did come from the racing industry in Australia as well, but he didn't do a lot of official races. He was used more so for field trials and testing other dogs to see how they would do on the track. Very much like his homeland, he's a little too bouncy, like a kangaroo, to race. So when he runs, it looks very adorable and goofy because he just bounces like a kangaroo everywhere.
I have a question. Where did Grady come from?
So Grady, when we were deciding the names, when we first got Grady, it was a whole discussion. The former president, was involved. Everyone had an opinion on what we were going to call them. And I know we wanted to, Grady didn't feel as official as some people wanted. And so Grady is more of a nickname and just a, oh my goodness. Goodness, boys.
Oh.
There you go. Settle down. Hi. There you go.
They was for the fight, y'all. They was for the fight, y'all.
I promise they were going to fight.
Here on Good Morning Greyhounds, you see it first. Hi. Grady 1 and Grady 2, back at it again.
Hello. Hi. Oh, thank you. Bless you.
Okay.
That's your own hair. So yeah, Grady, the nickname, they didn't feel like it was as official, yeah. So do you want to come up here? Hi. So that's where the nickname came from.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is there any difference between Grayson and Grady that you like to highlight when it comes to their personalities?
I think really this guy, the original one, is just so chill at this point. Oh my goodness. And he knows the ropes. So he's going to go in, he's going to do his job, he's going to stand there, pose for photos, look right at the camera, do all the things. And this guy is still very much a puppy. He's a little mischievous, a little ornery. And hello, my goodness.
Aren't they just bright and bubbly and moving?
Hello. You guys are giving everyone the full moon on the camera, though, aren't you? So he's a little bit more timid at first, and then he really turns on the charm. And I like to say his love language is physical touch, and if he could be inside my skin sometimes, he would prefer that. Goodness. But this is kind of a reason that we wanted both dogs at the same time, because as you can see, like Grady just laid down, it made a slight noise, and it startled Grady too a little bit. So this is all part of the training, and a reason that I'm happy that I have two of them at the same time, so that he can understand some of the noises. I mean, even, if we're at a football game and people are playing cornhole and the smack of the bags on the wood or the plastic, like he needs to learn that sound is okay. It's just people playing games, you know? And so it's a learning process. It's a training process. And he's doing really well. He's doing far better than I could have imagined for only being here just over a month.
Yeah. So I saw that Grady and Grayson had dressed up together for Halloween. Do they get along well together?
They do. Despite what they may be portraying right now, I often look over my desk and see them cuddling on their giant bed in the office. It's two jumbo-sized beds put together, so it's truly like a giant bed. Yes. But really, I think it's been fun to see Grady kind of run and play with another Greyhound.
Someone who can keep up.
Exactly. I have another dog at home, but he's 13 and a half, and so he is not...
How many dogs do you have?
I have 3 total, so these 2 and then plus another big guy at home. But as hard as he tries, he cannot keep up with Grady, and especially not with Grady too. And so it's fun when they can like challenge each other and really let loose and run.
Do you think there was any adjusting that needed the connection to grow or form between them?
Yeah, I think Grady is definitely going to... He's had to learn to share a little bit, and they do fight for attention quite a bit at events. I think the funniest thing that happens is when they fight for the same person. It's like, you have 2 hands, one for each of us. Like, you can pet us both, because they will fight for that. And I say fight, but just kind of, like push each other out of the way. Yeah. And so it has been fun to watch Grady almost... be little again, like put some youth back into him and like playfulness. And he's had to learn how to like share his space, share his office mates, share all of these people and his students and all these things. So that was a little bit of adjustment. And for this guy, it's not like he came from an area where they were, constantly adored every single day, or let alone given tons of affection. I'm not saying that he came from a bad environment, but it's far different than what we provide on campus with like pets and loves and pictures and all these things. So he had to also learn that, I just have to stand here and get attention. okay,
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the small little adjustments that we've had to get used to.
Well, with Grady, since it will be officially your dog, do you ever plan on bringing him back on campus?
Yes, I think it'll be very hard for him just to quit cold turkey and never come back here ever again. So he'll definitely return for like homecoming or our traditions, anything like midnight breakfast. And we'll see, he may even come back for big shake. Like commencement for some of the students who have the classes who were here when he was the only one.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll still definitely come back. It'll just be more as a special guest rather than full time.
Okay. So I do want to ask about Butler Blue.
Yeah.
And Grady's friendship. I've seen that they're pretty good friends.
They are. That was the biggest thing we did when we first introduced the Grady program. Butler was also going through or about to go through a transition between dogs, and we wanted to make sure that they were introduced as quickly as we could so they could form a good relationship. And they have. It's been really great. Grady too got to meet him when they did some Halloween costumes. So
that is so adorable.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah, in case you missed it, Grady and Blue were spaghetti and meatballs, which was really adorable. And then all three of them did lions, tigers, and bears. So that was really fun too. So again, you can check that out on social media if you don't already follow. So those were a lot of fun, and I think the plan is definitely to continue the friendship with G2 and Blue. And then hopefully, as long as they have a program, we'll continue to partner. I think it's fun because we're not competing in any way. And we both, the handler for Butler Blue and I really love Indianapolis and love what we can do for the community. Mm-hmm. So the more that we can get the dogs out and get more attention on both of our schools is just a unique partnership.
Yeah. Well, I think, our time is running out, but I do want to ask one more question. How have you seen Grady make an impact on our campus? And honestly, how do you see this legacy continuing to make an impact on every student that comes in?
I could truly get emotional about the way that Grady has been with students, or I should say, like, the reaction that some students have given to the program. I have seen firsthand Grady being able to pull a student out of a difficult headspace or a difficult moment if they're going through something. We've had students reach out either via email or social media and say, I just need to be with a dog. Can I come be with Grady? And I try to accommodate those as much as I can. I've had out-of-state students, hello. Out-of-state students say, I really miss my dog and I can't go home right now to see my dog. Can I just come sit with Grady? And so it's the moments like that, like, of course we have fun with the fun events or putting costumes on them or, seeing people out and about. Like, those are great moments, but it's the moments where I know he has truly been able to provide a sense of comfort and ease and home on campus for students that mean the most to me. And I know that he's made an impact and the program itself has been successful because that was my dream, that was my goal. That, yeah, if you like a photo of G2 or a video of him running into the camera, being really silly in a hallway, like, that's awesome if you like that and you engage. But if petting them or seeing them or giving them a hug makes your day as a student better, then that's all I need. That's job done, program successful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, you guys. Oh, aren't you guys the cutest ever? Summer Walker is back and the internet is already obsessed with her new album. The project just dropped and fans on TikTok and X are calling it one of her most emotional and honest bodies of work yet. The album features a mix of soft R&B reflective lyrics and Summer's signature vulnerable sound that puts you right in your feelings. Tracks from the album are already trending with people making videos about their favorite lines and how the songs are hitting a little too close to home. Listeners are saying Summer is in her healing era and she's opening up about love, heartbreak, motherhood, and growing into herself. The project also includes a few surprise features and samples that have fans talking nonstop, With streaming numbers climbing and clips from the album all over social media, it looks like Summer Walker has another hit on her hands, and this era might be her most personal one yet. TikTok is in an uproar right now after a viral video exposed a new angel tree controversy. Instead of the story being about people asking for too much, this one is about people adopting angel tree children and then not getting them the gifts that they asked for. Some creators are showing receipts of kids who requested simple items like shoes or winter clothes, but received cheap toys or random items that were nowhere close to what they needed. The video has started a bigger conversation about why people sign up for Angel Tree if they're not going to follow through. Many users say it's unfair and even harmful because these kids only get one holiday wish list and they end up with a bare minimum or something that they cannot use. Other viewers argue that donors should only participate if they can commit to the actual requests. The comment sections are full of people sharing their own experience, with some saying that even have children receive clearance rack items or things that are obviously last minute. Others say that this is a sign that the program needs better guidelines and a way to make sure every child is treated fairly. The controversy has become a major holiday topic on TikTok, with videos still pouring as in people speak out about their frustration and their hope that these kids receive the care and attention that they deserve. Nicki Minaj made headlines this week when she spoke at a panel held by the United Nations missions in New York, joining forces with U.S. diplomats to shine spotlight on the violence of persecution faced by Christians in Nigeria. In her address, she thanked President Donald Trump for prioritizing this issue and his leadership on the global stage and calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria. Minaj declared that faith is under attack in many places around the world, and she said her speech was not about taking sides, about uniting humanity. She used her platform to say that music has taken her all around the globe, and she's seen firsthand how people come alive when they hear a song that still touches their soul. The panel had been organized with the help of the U.S. government, and the U.S. ambassador to UN, Michael Waltz, praised Minaj for levering her massive platform to highlight these issues. However, the context is complex. While Trump and his administration have framed the situation in Nigeria as one of the Christian persecution, experts note that violence in Nigeria also affects Muslims and rooted in a mix of ethnic, resource, and criminal conflicts, not purely religious motivation. Minaj's move have created a mixed reaction. Some praise her for speaking out and bringing global awareness. Others question the alignment with Trump's rhetoric, giving the multi-factor nature of the conflict in Nigeria and his political history. Now, our fun time is wrapping up today, so be sure to follow us on Instagram and on YouTube at UND-TV. Thank you guys, and be safe, Indy.